Hey folk, we are back. So I hope you got a chance to take a look at the first video where I showed you some of the items that I bought for this Valentine's wreath. So next we're going to spend a little bit of time assembling this. So hopefully we can get it done in one go round. If not, we may have to make a part 2. But welcome, come on in. So last thing I showed you, I was telling you about my foam core boards. I went ahead and did some things in advance right before I started filming. So I cut out the heart shape in the black foam core like I mentioned earlier. I just doubled it. I took the pine garland that I found at Joann's yesterday and just glued it around it to give it an edge. I still like that kind of evergreen-ish type of pine needle edge to a garland. So I just glued that around and just kind of stapled it in places to hold it while it dry. And I showed you this little balsa wood heart that I found at the Dollar Tree store. I just went ahead and glued it on. And I wanted this to look as dimensional as possible. So I put a disc, I put a couple of these discs underneath. So I just glued it a few minutes ago so it can start drying, right? And so these little cubes here are going to be little beds for our cherub friends. So if you remember, I spoke to you about, I ordered these cherubs from Amazon, which I absolutely love. And I talked about adding a little bit of diversity, a little bit of D&E in this project. So I have about 5 of them, and the results are this. Check this out. So I got my little dark, medium brown, and the little white babies, which I love them all. So here we go. So I painted them all, and so they are actually going to sit on these as if they're kind of like floating. So we'll get to that. But I wanted you to show you. I love these. They're so adorable. What else did I do? So I also started prepping. Oh, remember the heart that I bought that was just red? I told you we gotta add some bling in, and I added some of the rhinestones and some crystals to it so it could bling. So it really adds a nice touch to it because, like I said, I love bling, and we have to add it for Valentine's. I started cutting this little ugly ribbon off that I didn't like. Right? I'm just gonna go ahead and finish cutting it off. I don't know if I can pull it off. And I actually made a little ribbon from one that I bought from the Dollar Tree. So I showed you some of the ribbon I purchased was this red with some glitter hearts and this white satin with gold dots. And I made a little ribbon, where is it? Right here, that I like. I thought this could add a nicer touch to this. Turn this around here. So what I'm going to do is while we get moving, I'm just going to go ahead and glue. I found some industrial strength E6000. I've used E1000 for years. I love E1000, but I'm not quite sure about this industrial strength, so I'm afraid about getting it on my hands. I don't know what that means. So I'm going to try to be as careful as possible with it. And I'm just going to stick this bow in here. Like that. And I'm just going to stick a pin down the middle to help it dry some, and I'm going to put that on the side. Let me put it here. I better put this cap back on. So what else did I prep? So that's pretty much all I prepped. I just started pulling some of these carnations off, some of the magenta fuchsia carnations off, and some of the red tulips and roses I just have lying around. So I'm going to kind of figure this out as we go along. So I hope I don't bore you all. I hope you are looking forward to working on this project with me. You know, that was something else I was thinking about. I was thinking about a few minutes ago about wreaths in general, and from what I can recall, during I love studying art history, and I was thinking about the origins of wreaths, and I'm pretty sure the origin started with probably back in the Greek and Roman days, a few thousand years ago, where the wreath was kind of indicative of championship, winning battles, and all of that. So the leaves going around was kind of like a circle. And then as the years went by, and when Christianity set in, I think the focus was more on the circle of life. So that's another reason why they use a lot of the evergreen around the circle, right? Circle of life, you get it? And then I think as the years went by, certainly modern times, we started focusing more on just celebration. So the wreaths kind of was more indicative of just being inviting, you know, creating something where it's just inviting for the holidays. So I was thinking about that. So I was questioning myself, like, is this really a wreath or is it like a poster? So to me, it's absolutely a wreath because we're still going around, right? We still have this circle. It's just not a circle. It's a wonderful Valentine's. So of course we have that element in here. And with our little kids, you know, I love these little kids. And I show you the cherubs. So I think we're good. So whether you call it a wreath or a poster, I'm good with it. I think it's just a matter of semantics. All right, so let's get started. So a lot of these magenta ones, I'm just going to kind of glue onto the balsa wood. I'm just going to randomly, well, not really randomly, I'm just going to place them all on, really, and they'll dry in place. I don't know where it came from. You know, I think I'm going to use the regular E6000 for this. So I'm just going to keep, that's a red one. I'm just going to glue these beautiful fuchsia ones all on here to give this and I know it looks like I'm just randomly putting them on, but to a degree I still want to make sure we try to keep the shape of the heart as well as we just glue glue all these little babies on. I mean, there's really no method to doing it. My goal is just to make sure we cover up as much of the wood as possible. And I have an idea for when I finish covering it, I have an idea to go back and kind of layer some to make sure there's no spaces. going directly on foam, we could have pushed them in, but since we're putting it on wood, it's probably just going to have to take it will take a few more minutes to dry, but that's okay. Major pieces of artwork require a lot of work. I think I'm going to need some more. I thought I had pulled off enough, but maybe I didn't. I think I put this one right here. Let's see. These are red. I'm going to put the red over here. That's red. Here's the magenta ones. Let's see. There's a few more back here. Whoa. Because the wood is obviously a little tough, I can't stick it in, so I kind of have to snip some of these little tubes off the back to keep it kind of almost flush with the flower. And when you put the glue in here, it kind of secures it so it won't pop open. So let's see. I think I'm going to need a few more. Where are they? We are almost done. I'm just putting a good amount of glue on the back side of the floral just to make sure it kind of keeps it all tight and make sure the little tubes off the back. So sometimes when you cut those off, sometimes when you cut the little tubes off in the back, it'll pop open. It'll cause the flower to become loose. So I put enough glue in the back to kind of secure it while it's drying. So not only is it securing and drying to whatever surface you're putting it on, it's also drying within itself to stay one piece. Almost finished with this one. Now, for some of these spaces that are left open, let me see, I can put another flower here. I don't know if you can see the camera, there's a couple of little gaps I can fill in, right there. And I'm just going to press down just to make sure they're kind of adhering to the board. They're making some contact with the board to dry. And I'm loving that. So what I'm going to do is, there's a few whites, there's little spaces you can see in here. Like here, 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 here. What I'm going to do is, I'm probably just going to take a few petals. I'm just going to take a few petals and just kind of stick them in to cover on the back. Let's see. Got some up there. Now, so next what I'm going to do is, I can see a little bit of spots over there. So see, I just came in and just filled in with a few petals. Again, just kind of keeping with the shape of the heart. And once this is all dry, I can go back if there's some additional spaces that I need to. I'll go back in. Let's see. There's a few spots over here. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'm liking that. So next we're gonna go in and start filling some roses in. And remember again, I double the board. So I don't have to cut all of these little stems off to make it flush. I can leave like 1/4 of an inch because you can puncture in, right? And it will absolutely stick like that. So I'm just going to go around, cut this off a little bit. I don't want it too. I don't want it too long. There we go. And I'm just going to randomly mix, I think, the fuchsia with the red all around. I think what I'll do is around this heart, because the heart is mostly fuchsia. So what I'm going to do is around the heart in the center, I'm going to put mostly red so the heart in the center can kind of stand out. You hear how it snaps in place? That's what we want. There we go. I hope I should have enough that can go all around. So right now I'm just going around to kind of frame even have some of these baby's breath, which I like as well. Maybe not. So all I get, again, all I'm doing is just going around the base of the flower and sticking the little stems like 1/4 of an inch, just puncturing it into the foam core, and it's good. This one seems very long. I'm sure you all have seen these. You've seen these any and everywhere. I actually like doing them myself. Let's see what we got here. Here's some more. So what you're gonna keep? Oh, I just realized something. I'm gonna put something over here. I'm sorry. I should have continued on that side first, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So the reason why I wanted to make sure I leave this empty for now is because I think I'm going to lay this baby somewhere over here, and I don't really need to use all of these red flowers right there. I'd rather use them around to outline it on the other side. And so now I'm just going to go back in and start filling in with the magenta roses. Now you can't really see what's going on the side yet, but I will show you in a few. know, she's a tough one. She doesn't want to go in. Let's see if she'll go in over here. No, we're going to hold off on you. See, there you go. Sometimes I get a little stubborn. Let's see. Okay, she's refusing to go in. Let's find some other ones. Let's see how many more we have. Let's see what's happening. Whoa. These little magenta ones are a little tough to go in. So let me just tilt it. I think you can kind of see what's happening here. So I'm going to come all the way around. I'm not going to use as many higher ones over here because I have things that's going to go over here. But let me just keep going and going and going. I'm really loving the magenta fuchsia looking roses with the red. It adds a nice kind of texture and dimension to it as opposed to it being all red. So as you can see, I'm just going to continue to outline the heart. tough. I'm just going to keep adding. This one here has no stem, so I hope it behaves. And I just put a little bit more glue on it so we can stick to the edge over there. So I have about 5 or 6 more, 1, 2, 3, 4 more. But I have plenty of red roses in the house, so I gotta go find some red roses or other red flowers. These babies, there we go. It's kind of, let's see. Sometimes when you're making these flower, using buds to create these floral shapes, you kind of have to push them closer to make sure some of them stand up. They won't fall down. But I'm telling you, some of these little magenta roses are refusing. There you go. To go in. Oh boy. So, then what I'll do is come around here. think what I'm gonna do is come on this side. Excuse me. Just come over here to get some more flowers. I'm back. I didn't disappear. Well, kind of. Okay. Pretty much filled in. I'm doing pretty good on this side with the pink. Go. Let me see if you, I'm gonna turn around to see if you can see it, folks, what's happening here. I'm really loving what's happening. You see? I know you can. I'm not sure if you're able to see on the camera, but in person it looks really good with the red outlining the magenta in the middle. And I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm out of flowers. I'm just going to run. Give me 3 seconds. 5. I told you I always have a lot of flowers and voila. Red tulips, red roses. We can absolutely use them. Oh boy, come on. There you go. I'm just going to pull these off the stem to make it a little bit easier for me. And I'm just going to keep going. Around. These little tulipy things are a little bit narrower, so it's going to take a little bit more of them. But that's okay. I just kind of stick my hand down in the middle to find the point, to kind of push it in. So I think I just saw some other roses. It'd be nice to kind of. These down here, they're just some. They're like dahlia looking things that I bought. It's nice to fill in down here because I'm going to put something on top, so they're not going to be that noticeable. So basically they're just being used to kind of cover up, take up the space at this point, which actually looks really good. Oh my God. Whenever you get to the end of these tubes, it starts getting a little weird and crazy, right? Sometimes they break, they crack on the ends. But hey, whoa, it comes with the territory. You have to love what you do. I actually like these little dahlias on the ends of here. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this little effect going on. Just put it over here. So let's see if I have any more of those, baby. Those are wonderful. Uh-huh. I found some little sparkly poinsettia looking things, probably from the Dollar Tree a few months ago. Loving what's happening here. Oh. When I go back to some of the roses at the top. This is really some of the hardest part. I love seeing it come to life, folk, because when the ideas in your head and you're trying to make things make sense in your head, you all know what that's like. I do it all the time, like, oh my goodness, what is it gonna look like? And as the time passes and you start seeing it take shape, it's a wonderful feeling. I have to do this every once in a while. So I'm glad you decided to stay with me. It won't be that much longer, but oh boy, come on, baby. That's not gonna stay, I can tell. Not sure what this looks like, something from Halloween, but here's a couple more roses. I think I'm gonna have to open this industrial strength. I'm a little scared. I hope it doesn't. I hope it comes off of my fingers, in other words. Okay. That over there. I'm kind of liking this little poinsettias to add on the corner of there. Because in the middle they have a little bit of a sparkle. And they're nice. This one right here to kind of edge it out, and it's looking pretty good, folks. Pretty good. I'm going to hold it up in a second to show you where we are. And I told you earlier I was trying to keep them low over here for a reason. And I'm going to show you in just a second. I think there's another space up there I got to add. Yes. All right. So let's show you what we got thus far. And I told you all in the previous video, to make it a little bit more interesting, we're going to add an interesting shape as opposed to just making a regular heart. So you see how it kind of curves around? I love that. think I need to put one right here on the ends. Right. So now this should have dried. So now I'm thinking about I have to figure out how to add these little babies in. So one of the things I was thinking about is, because what's going to happen, folk, is because these protrude out, the 5 little cubes, I want the little babies, the little cherubs, to look as if they're floating. So what I came up with is, I have these other flowers that I didn't use, these pink with white. I'm going to try to create like a little bed for them to, let me pull out 5 of these. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. What they look like? 4, 5. And I cut some little cubes because I want them to look like they're kind of floating above the little shelves. They're like little beds. So I'm going to see if this will work. I kind of have to find the hole to stick it in from this side. I know. If I can have I meant to go the opposite way and find the hole. Coming up. Oh. There we are. Oh man. Okay, let's try another. I'm sorry, I keep letting it go. I see it, but I can't. Ah, there we go. So I'm just going to stick them in there first. Just bear with me, folks. I think it's going to be great. Uh-huh. I got the second one. I got, there's forth. Ah, easy. That one was easy. And the last little kitty is over here. I think this wreath is going to actually turn out a lot better than I was expecting, to be honest with you. So as you can see, it looks like they're kind of floating. And I'm just going to set them on each of their little pedestals. So who's going to go first? So we're going to, I'm going to put a little bit of glue only on the base part, I think. Oh no, I better just drop a little bit. And I probably have to cut Look what's happening, folks. You see the little baby on his little pedestal? He's actually chilling up here. So, it's looking good. I only wish they were larger, but like I said, when I ordered them, I thought they were going to be a little bit larger. You know, the other thing I was thinking about these wreaths is, you know, I love conversation pieces. Like, it's one thing just to put a $80, $90, $100 wreath on the door and people are basically just glancing at it and walking away after you spent that much money. So why not put something that can become like a real conversation piece, such as these creations. I know a lot of you will agree because you say it all the time. I want something that no one else has. How many times do you all hear that? Or how many times do you say it? All right? I want mine to be different. Well, this is different. This is absolutely different. Oh my God, I'm loving this. And I'll put him at the top. Oh my gosh, I love it. Then number 5 is sitting over here. Give him a little bit of glue. look at what's happening. Look at what's happening, folk. You see the little baby sitting, the little cherub sitting? And we got our little diversity in. Yes, sir. And the next thing I want to do is, so I want to put you all through this. So I made a couple of bows from the red glitter and the white satin with dots. I made a couple of bows right beforehand. And here's one. I didn't finish my dovetailing though. I didn't do my, oops, there's the tape left on. I'm just going in and dovetailing. I didn't do that. I made the bow right before I started filming this. And I didn't. So I think you all know how to do the dovetail, but just in case, it's just a traditional way of finishing the end of your ribbons where you just kind of fold it. Sorry. Fold it and cut upwards like that. And there you go. Let's see, did I get them all? I think I got them all. So I made a couple. I made a smaller one and a large one. And I actually like the idea of the large one going over here, close to the edge. And where's my bling bling? Remember we started prepping her earlier. I think I probably could take this pin out. No, you know what? I'll leave the pin in. To secure and I also took one of these love signs and glued it to a piece of gold, trimmed around it just for a little bit more interesting color because everything is very red. I'm loving this huge bow over here. I think that's kind of the front there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a couple of pins, if I can find them. Let's see. That. I think I'll just glue. I'm just gonna glue. Let's see if this industrial strength really does the job. I'm just going to lay it over top. Stick a pin somewhere. No. Just to hold that, and the heart can kind of fall over top of it. I'm just going to glue this baby on the back. And it'll just attach itself to the flowers. Baby's over here. I'm definitely going to just take a pen and just secure them on. Folks, here you have it. Thanks for sticking with me, folks. I hope you had a good time. I know it took a little bit longer, but it's the flowers, but anything worth having is worth putting in the hard work for. So again, thank you so much for joining me. You know, there's a lot more coming. There's a whole lot of stuff up in this head. I need to get it out and share it with you all. So thank you so much. I look forward to. Please remember to like and definitely comment and subscribe. Take care.